So we are going to talk about module 2. So module 2 is nothing but your introduction to iPaaS. So iPaaS is nothing but integration platform as a service. So why we are calling as iPaaS? Because SAP is providing the entire integration platform, integration solution as a platform as a service rather than as a software as a service. So because iPaaS is something like so SAP also providing an offering to other client to build your platform, either to choose a cloud foundry, network, okay, and in the or to choose a different runtime, like you can choose even Kima or you can choose even Kubernetes or something like that. So whenever you build your integration solution, SAP is just giving different platform offerings. So when you go with Cloud Foundry, you can even choose which vendor I want to onboard. I can onboard in AWS or Azure, or actually I can even onboard in Google Cloud, or I can onboard in Alibaba. It actually provides multiple variety when it comes to your Cloud Foundry, because Cloud Foundry considers a vendor that talks to multiple platform providers, platform service providers, and that help you to land your service into their platform. So now SAP bundle everything as a platform, your entire solution as a platform SaaS solution. So that it's called as a platform as a service. So Kima is another one that SAP is offering as of today. That evolution starts from mid of 2023, where something like I have my own AWS account which is sitting on US East. I don't want SAP or any vendor to manage. I want SAP just push this solution to me. I can manage everything by my own. And actually even Kima is something like I can have a co-innovation with my product vendor to SAP, and they can help me to have all the software updates pushed to my landscape or my network, and I can go ahead and activate whenever it is needed. So it is something like instead of SAP manage the platform, now we are telling I can manage it, but I need your service only in terms of pushing the latest software to my landscape. So that is evolution, but no client has tried till now. Even Kubernetes is another Docker-based containers, like no client has tried till now, because these are all like premature stage, and this is all on the something like initial stage of SAP's discovery era. So once it is kind of completely at least one step matured, then people will try it out and do some project work there. Okay, so before I start, like I just want to show you the disclaimer, then we can get started with our.
Yeah, what is SAP Cloud Foundry? Darshan, what is the difference between Cloud Foundry and Azure or AWS?
Okay, so just to give a background, so before, like in 2019 or 2017, there is only one offering from SAP. It is called SAP Cloud Platform Neo. So then Neo is something like you have your entire BTP cockpit, and this BTP cockpit will have your SAP, nothing but a SAP cockpit, and this cockpit will have a number of services and a number of platform services. Everything will be managed by SAP in its own data center. Okay. So on this data center is restricted only to limited region. So take an example in US. Okay. Some clients have their own S4 system sitting in US East. But SAP is telling, I have my data center only in Chandler. But that doesn't solve the purpose, right? Because there is a traffic latency between East to Chandler. You have to compromise on your all the traffic requests, all the latency. So then all the customers push and they actually ask for a different solution or different offering from SAP. Then SAP have done a joint venture with the Cloud Foundry. Cloud Foundry is another service vendor. So that will work with your platform providers like Microsoft Azure, AWS, GCP, or Alibaba. And actually, its main part is something like in the same example what I told earlier. Like there is a customer which is sitting on US East. So they will go to that, they will understand the problem from the customer. So customer, I'm telling, so if I'm a customer, I'm telling like my platform is on US East, which is hosted on AWS, right? So now Cloud Foundry, it will ask AWS, have a separate data center provision on US East, and we will work with SAP and we will push all the software service into the US East region. So now your client and your SAP's SaaS solution are in the same region, and SAP will give another offering. Some because there will be some IP whitelisting can be done. So whenever the traffic is done between your SAP S4 on-prem system to your IP of your cloud platform, your customer can do the whitelisting between on their on-prem system so that your connectivity can happen seamlessly. So that's another offering SAP came back from 2020. So with that one, and they actually started putting this data center in with AWS East and Azure West, Azure East, Azure Middle. Like they put a lot of data centers around US and around also. Then they actually gone into Europe. They put a lot of center there also. And Asia Pacific, they put something in China and Singapore. And UAE, they put some data center with the help of Alibaba. So now every customer can choose their own data centers. Like let's take if I want to keep my S4 and actually my cloud platform closer to each other, I can choose the nearest one. So that's something like SAP came up with the Cloud Foundry, and also SAP made a strategy on their product roadmap to move out entirely away from Neo. So and actually from 2021 they made a strong decision. We will not onboard any client into Neo. So Neo is going to go away completely. So who are the customer they are going to onboard, and they will be onboarding into Cloud Foundry from that point. So that's a kind of a background history till now, and that's a strategy SAP is now going on. And then we are seeing some more problems in that space also. Now SAP is coming up with its own Kubernetes and Dockers, because when you use the platform heavily and extensively, you will see lot more better capability you might expect from the product. So that's what. So in order to improve this one, SAP is just innovating new concepts and with the platform side.
Yeah, okay. So basically, Cloud Foundry, what it does is a kind of third-party company. So it integrates SAP SaaS or iPaaS with the nearest client data centers.
Yes, client data centers, but also those data centers are not managed by the client. Still, SAP will have a control on the data center. Just Cloud Foundry just enable that movement of the software products. So like from SAP, if SAP want to move some product, it can actually move to any of the data center whenever it
Yeah,
needs.
yeah. Okay, yeah, got it.
Coming back to this agenda, we are going to cover some of the topics on your integration strategy of SAP, then how SAP integration solution or advisory methodology works. So there is nothing but your ISAM, and in technically how integration plays a major role and how the customers are having their perception on integration suite. We'll cover this one, and we can actually touch upon some exercises that on SCPI and in API management. So as we see from the beginning of our session, right? Like integration suite is just to give a background. So integration suite is a brand new product from SAP. So like starting from 2022, SAP just started integration suite. And before that, all the services are independent to each other. SCPA is independent, API management is independent, or even integration advisor, it's embedding product within CPI, and everything open connectors are independent. Now SAP see this is a kind of a decentralized complete SaaS solution. And actually when SAP want to drive not in terms of technology perspective, they want to go with the business solutioning perspective. So in order to have a business solutioning perspective, they come up with a bundled package called SAP Integration Suite. So now if in the integration suite also, like I can choose which I want heavily, which I want very lightweight. So let's take an example. I am a customer. I want SCPA very heavily. I can add so many worker nodes, and even actually I can go ahead with having dedicated SCPA tenants and dedicated API management tenants. I can have other products like my open connectors, like my integration advisor, and all the other products as a shared component with other clients. And actually, I can pick and choose which I want higher version, which I want the lower version. So in that way, that will solve my business need and have my robust platform strategy for my entire integration thing. That's the thing SAP landed in this with the BTP. And even you can actually do this in your own Cloud Foundry private cloud. Because when it comes to Neo, so Neo is something like it's all publicly available product. And also as of with integration suite, you can go as much as private you want. So that means the cloud is completely within your DNS. So let's take an example. I'm choosing Cloud Foundry, and I am actually having my integration suite sitting on my AWS East. I can actually have my integration suite closer to my S4 landscape, and I can encircle my entire thing into my same DNS. That offering is SAP is now providing from starting from 2023, 2024, beginning of 2024. And this becomes your even more private landscape. Because before it was a public landscape and it is exposed to multiple clients. Now, when you become within your DNZ or within your network, you will have a lot of products in-house or dedicated to yourself, and so that you will not be your services will not be shared with other clients. And that's something like SAP is now done in its product. And actually integration suite is kind of way kind of it's matured, and there is some path ahead to also mature, because when it comes to scalability in some services inside integration suite, we are actually seeing some gaps, and SAP is trying to work on in that way to improve that product. Coming back to integration strategy for intelligent enterprises. So where SAP re-platform its entire cloud platform strategy into business technology platform, where you can have your, if you see the bottom of the line, where you can have your app development. So that is done through the SaaS solution called BAS, Business Application Studio, where actually you can do side-by-side extension with for Fury, and your actually then you can do the entire sidecar extension that is done for your CDSU extension that can be done from your S4 system. And then your administration, so you have your automation activity. So and SAP launched a product called SAP IRPA. Now it is named as SAP BPA, which is nothing but business process automation, where you can have your use cases to have some bot enabled automation using SAP BTP services. So most of the clients are now leaning towards bot architecture using SAP BTP using BPA service. Now the another one is integration one, that is integration suite, that plays a major role here. And data analytics is something like your SAC. So yeah, SAC and also other analytical tool like SDI, so smart data integration. So smart data integration plays a major role, but actually that is a kind of a product which is not matured that way. And SAP come up with a product called Intelligent Hub. And Intelligent Hub it's now picking up in the market. So, and these are various BTP offering SAP is tied up, and in order to connect to any of the service between integration service plays a major role. Like either you will be using API extensively everywhere, or your CPI everywhere to do the orchestration between the services and get your solution completely matured, very matured there. And this is when it comes to your this we are serving, right? Like you will be defining a solution for your customer, like your sales related one, or it could be your HR related one, or it could be an enterprise related one. And this is something like, and it can solve multiple solution, multiple problem in terms of supply chain area. It can solve the problem in your manufacturing area, and it can solve the problem in various industry standards. And also it helps to integrate various other customers industry cloud into here, so that it will have the integrated product with your SAP as well as with your other SaaS solution. So then the holistically SAP now trying to push, have the integration suite end to end to achieve the business process management and have some intelligent services. So I'll talk about the intelligent services, what SAP is coming along, and how you can improve the business process management within the BTP services. That's what SAP is offering, and the integration suite is going to play a major role there. So, and in the integration suite, as I explained in my beginning of my session, so there are predefined integrations. So where actually SAP has developed the solutions for success factors, CRM system, Ariba, and also other SaaS solutions like your even Workday packages. So some customer want to go ahead with Workday integration. They want to integrate between HR and Workday, or success factors and Workday. Lot of integration SAP now come up with this in the discover mode. So and actually, and this is really helpful because this really kind of help us in reducing the development time drastically. Let's take an example. If I want to go ahead with the development of 100 hours or something like that, with a pre-packaged solution, I can configure everything within 20-30 hours. So like I can actually have a huge savings over there. So this is one of the strategy with the integration solution what SAP is offering with the predefined integrations. And with the open integration, SAP is now giving another platform, which is nothing but Open Connector, where Open Connector will have connection to at least 170 plus third-party applications. So example, your box, your S3 bucket, AWS services, and Azure services, and others SaaS. Like it has like 170 plus third-party application. And the beauty of this one, right? Open Connector also has an API contract. Like let's take an example. If I want to connect to Box, it provides me the API contract via in that API, in that Box API itself, that helps the developer to develop and integrate using that API contract, and that will help you, because you will avoid back and forth documentation. Every documentation is available in the Open Connector itself, and that will be really helpful for you to go ahead and start your development. So coming back to your holistic development, so because SAP has other cloud solution like your Ariba and your other cloud offering like your SAP CRM cloud and success factors. So in order to have the holistic integration, it touches upon multiple flavors. Like it will, let's take an example. When you want to integrate between your Ariba has its own protocol that is called CXML, and your success factors has 3 different protocols. Some of the APIs will be available in SOAP based, some of them will be available in OData based, some of them will be available in REST based. So SAP has holistic integration package to convert your transformation from CXML to either to OData or OData to CXML. So based on the use cases, it has actually come up with certain adapters. So success factors has its own adapter in its product, and also your Ariba has its own adapters in its product, because I can actually show you at the receiver side what are different adapters. That will really help you to understand what are various adapters are available.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Okay. So whenever you want to make a connection to your system, you have to just go here, go to external, view request reply, put request reply, and you can pull a number of adapters. So now this has a number of adapters, like it has Ariba adapter, it has actually even SuccessFactors adapter, Azure storage, it has plenty. So the list is very big actually. So like even if you want some third-party adapter to be used, even so if SAP has some adapter for AWS S3 bucket also. So and also you can use that adapter. You can download that adapter from your service marketplace, and you can actually deploy the adapter as a component, so that this adapter become available totally here in your product. So there are so many features SAP now bring to have the holistic integration with its SaaS solution as well as its third-party solution. So, but yeah, so here my adapters are limited because I have a limited free edition. But when you go with your actual paid one, you will have plenty. Okay, so this is one of the feature with SAP. So then AI-driven integration, as I told earlier. So SAP used to have a content advisor tied to here, but when it becomes with actually integration platform, separate integration suite, now mix and match will be available for you to design and develop. But and this mix and match should be referred in your iFlow in the iFlow, and this mix and match should be used as your operational mapping, and that operational mapping should be deployed with your iFlow to consume to make the transformation successful. So and also when you develop this mix and match, example, you have an IDOC structure, and you have your EDA structure on your source, you have an IDOC structure, on your target you have an EDA structure. So whenever you do that mapping, SAP proposes that the data type fault as well as it corrects all the data internally. So that happens in your MAG. So that is completely a driven technique, and also you don't have to spend more time in that one. But if there are some custom fields are available that we might need to touch upon, but for the standard IDOC to EDI XML, it's all AI driven. Like once you drag and drop holistically, it will take care of entire data format. You do not worry about that. So that's another feature that SAP is offering with this integration suite. Any queries till this time? Then coming back to the BTP core services, when it comes to integration, we have process integration, which is nothing but your CPI. We are API-led integration. There are two ways. One is graphic SAP Graph. Another one is SAP API management. So SAP API management can be exposed to the outside world because all these APIs are going to be publicly available into the network, to your local network or your outside network. Anyone can consume that one. And you can use your API management as your masking to your backend host also, and any of your backend system. It could be your S4, or it could be your SCPI, or it could be your any S4 or Ariba SuccessFactors system. Anything you can use, and you can actually expose that API to the outside world. And SAP also has event-driven architecture with event mesh. So we saw some example for event mesh in our previous module, where with event mesh you can achieve two kinds of variant, like pull variant and push variant, where when the events are published as a lightweight, and these events will be pushed seamlessly either to any of the consumer using the broker, and broker will have the topic and you have the relevant queues, and the queues will enable that seamless integration process. So that's a event-driven architecture with event mesh. So data integration is another part. Like, unfortunately, with the free edition, we will not be able to see any data integration products. But when you go ahead with actually data integration product, So I can give some example. So when you are integrating with SAP IBP, so SAP, that's another offering from SAP. It's called that is mostly used in the planning area. So SAP IBP uses data integration tools, and one of the famous tool like CPI-DS. So where um, your CPI, your CPI is nothing but process integration, and CPI is for data storage. Let's take an example. I have my data entity from IBP system. If I want to do the transformation to my target of my S4, or you can use any of your planning system, and actually you can integrate that data sources using data integration, because CPADS is it will come as part of your integration suite. That is not a free licensing tool, because it touches multiple data sources. So those data sources are really costly, like in terms of, because those are all native HANA data sources. Native HANA data sources brings a lot of licensing factor. So that actually IBP can have the seamless data integration using CPIDS with any of the system like SAP, SAP. You can take an example of a planning system. SAP Planning has its own entity set. You can integrate using SAP IBP. And your SDI, Smart Data Integration, plays another role to integrate between any of your third-party system. Let's take an example. I have my data lake with my Snowflake. I want to do the seamless integration with my SAP MDG system. So because I want to integrate both the master data, so your SDI plays a major role there. So like then Intelligent, SAP Intelligent Hub is another one data integration platform, which all in the same umbrella of integration suite. So SAP now have matured all this product, and they come up with all different solution, and that's a really a good offering now. And actually we can explore a lot of new packages in those areas. Any queries till this point? So now, especially you might be aware at this point of time, like how do we actually create an integration out of it, right? Like example, you can actually use SCPI. SCPI is used to connect with your any kind of SAP system or non-SAP system, even your third-party system. And you can put multiple receivers, and you can do the orchestration, and it has various different pilot components. I can give that as part of our module 3 and module 4. Like we can see some more examples. Like whenever you get the data out of the system, you can actually transform the data between one receiver to another receiver seamlessly in the same flow. And because so there is a difference between your PO. You have to create multiple ICOs, and those ICOs need to be tied up with multiple adapters. But SCPI kind of removes that complexity. It brings in a same iFlow. You can actually create n number of receivers. Once you have the receiver output, you can modify the content at the same time using different predefined palette components, and you can actually use mapping on the fly, and you can actually connect with your receiver based on your different queries. So this development is pretty much easy, and it's all customizable. And because with this process, I can even touch a complex development by doing multiple orchestration with CPI and get the output of it. So, and also once I get the output, and I can actually even expose my data to my consumer as an API too. That is even possible now. And also, and SAP, in order to start with such a kind of development, because as an initial stage, if I'm a developer, if I'm very new, how I'm not, let's take an example. I'll go to one famous development which has the discover mode, which follows all the best practices there. Let me show you that one. Otherwise, I'll do some success factors integration with complex integration that you will see various components of. Yeah. SAP success factor territory and quota integration with SAP success factor incentive. Let's take this one. It will bring multiple artifacts, and this will give you an idea whenever you have a solution. How do you want to divide your artifact into multiple components. So how do I actually make a bigger problem into smaller chunk, and how do I integrate between services that can be also followed? So take an example of this one. So this is your SAP entire CPI module, where you can see it's all HTTPS based, and it touches, once you receive the data, they are using the converter, and they are using a content modifier, and they are using a lot of different palette components, and they are orchestrating here. And also they are making an HTTPS call to multiple systems, and they have a separate sub-process in the bottom, and this process will be called in the top, and this will be called in a looping format, and that gives you an idea, like if there is a bigger chunk of problem, how do you want to achieve within the same flow? But if you want to have a n number of threads that you want to have separately, how you can separate out as a separate artifact and have that as a reusable for other development too. So in that way, you can actually have the prepackaged solution that brings best industry package. And why we are telling a best industry package? Because this product is designed to work in a certain way, considering the platform scalability and performance. SAP gives a fair idea how to develop such a solution using these tools. And you always go and refer these integrations in your prepackaged solution, and that can actually help you a fair idea. Then you can start easily developing those integrations. But in our exercise, I'll give some exercise how to do the transformation using XSLT, because you might be very much familiar with graphical and message mapping in your previous thing. But XSLT is so powerful in SCPI. It supports all the latest ones here, like it supports up to 3.2, and it's so powerful it can do this transformation pretty quick. Okay, so this is what actually we can see from SAP. And also, so as I told earlier about content advisor plays a major role, and it touches upon multiple components as well. Okay, and coming back to your ISAM. So ISAM is something like, it's a kind of your architectural template, or I can say as your overall architectural design, where I can take a business problem, holistic business problem, and start putting those problems into my board, and actually connect those problems with this tied up components, and design those using BTP SaaS solution. That's what. So SAP make it very simple now. So let's take an example. I want to connect with, whenever I have a purchase order system, before I create a purchase order, I need to check the availability of the product. So then do the orchestration CPI and get the information out. I want to connect with some AWS system and find out something. Then do the orchestration through Open Connector, find out some problem, find out your availability. So all your connected, your overall business problem can be put into a architecturally viewable way. ISAM methodology plays a major role in terms of your integration suite. And this is completely design framework where it actually helps you to, based on your problem, it helps you to make a better decision at the time to design the product design a solution in a better way using the available SaaS solution. Yeah. So as I told you, right, like and as an architect, how do I actually envision my end-to-end transaction completion? So starting from my store to my fulfilling my activity, how do I actually take integration suite as a solution, put everything and solution using the advisory methodology, because SAP proposes some advisory methodology while you're using ISAM product. And using that product, you can actually easily solution your thing, and you can get your product way mature from there. And these are all prepackaged template, but ISAM is another solution beneficiary product. It will come. I can actually show you. So ISAM will not come in your solution here, but you will have a separate tab if you have a paid version, like something called ISAM methodology in your screen here. That will help you to, once you click on this one, that will help you to go ahead and manage your entire system and develop the entire product over there. Because so though those methodology has predefined blueprint of your some of the client solution as well. SAP want to have a special licensing and special package. Also, I would say like special advisory to that solution, because even you can even propose something new ideas to that one. You can even mature that solution from there. So it's a restricted one again. So then it needs some more things from there. So this is an entire cycle how ISAM is working as of today. Okay, so assess your integration strategy. So like when I talk about integration strategy, so when I see from the enterprise wide, I need to know whether I'm going to use integration suite as my entire integration strategy, or I'm going to integration suite only for SAP related product. So, or actually then you can decide like what role SAP Integration Suite is going to propose. So you can actually you can mention in your cycle, like some cycle. Then coming back to your, if you, first you need to weigh with this strategy, what are the prepackaged solutions that are available there, and what are your hybrid solutions that are going to available there. So like based upon that, you need to pick up which are the hybrid, which are the prepackaged one, or which are the custom one, and which are the hybrid one model. We have to pick each and everything, and we need to make that as a best practice. Then coming back to your best practices, so SAP is proposing the best practice of integration using its own discover mode, and with the best practice we will enable and empower those practices, like and with this one ISAM, its complete cycle is matured, and we can take this solution and have as a template, and we can, based on the template, we can start our blueprinting development. Okay, so this is the entire cycle, like as I talked earlier, like start your integration strategy, document and your integration overview, then design your hybrid integration platform. Then third, come back to your define your integration best practice models. Once you define your best practice model, because in your best practices you will be having certain points like what are my key decision criteria that I have to look into, and key characteristics that I have to look into to make my blueprint successful, right? Like so once I have my architecture, like I want to have a clear cut pinpoints which area I need to concentrate more, and which area I need to have kind of secondary solution options if something goes wrong in another way. Like so, like your deep integration best practice, like your deep industry knowledge is needed over there. And let's take an example. In any of your integration strategy or integration platform, observability plays a major role, because any transaction you do end to end, you need to know you will be hopping multiple system in your ecosystem. You need to understand where it is failed, how it is failed, what is the visibility of this error. So who has the visibility of this error? So these three things are very important, because then it is easy to bring the entire solution to be turned around very quickly. So observability, which is nothing but your end-to-end traceability, that is more important in your entire solution, and that comes also as your best practice. And once you define that one, you have to define an observability framework also. So ISAM is not only actually proposing a solution, it also plays a major role in bringing an empowered, or a kind of, I would say, like operational management. So once I make a solution live, how it's going to make easy for my operation. That's major factor for me. So this is a one, like if I go to my capabilities, I can even show to you. Let's see whether this is available for us in the home page. You have to create a request for ISAM. So this is something like you need to give some business problem, and based on the business problem, SAP will give some elevated access to access some of the predefined solution, and from there we can actually take it forward from there. Like so, this is going to the integration request. That's what this is not even actually configured to us because this requires some kind of elevated access.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Yep. So, any more queries or doubts till this point of time? Like so, so just to before I go too much here, like I just want to touch upon and show to you, and actually how do you create an connectivity with your OData service with CPI. Let me go here into my integration package. I have my test flow. I have my control modifier here. Let's take an example. If I want to connect to my S4 system, first and foremost thing, I need to have a request reply. So with this request reply, put as HTTPS. So in general, we used to have OData v2 and everything. Let me check if it is coming. Okay, let's use HTTP adapter. So now I can actually take the configuration of my S4 system from my destination. This is my URL. And with this connectivity, I'm giving this URL. Okay, so then I will put just to bring the dollar metadata. I'm keeping as the proxy type as internet. So now I need to choose which authentication that I can follow. So either I can actually follow basic auth, OAuth 2.0, or OAuth SAML bearer. In general, with any backend system, you will be creating a basic auth credentials. So before using that one, like let's check if I'm choosing a basic auth, it will ask the credential name. Where do I create the credentials? If I go to my CPI monitoring, come to security material, click on user credentials, because this will actually serve your user credential name. I can pick up my username and password from here. This is my password. Once you click deploy, this will be deployed here. Okay. So now we need to use the same credential here. And I'm putting if there is any failure, just show that exception. Otherwise, we are good. Yeah. So in this one, I need to put which API I'm going to call. So I just put metadata, but I need to give the API correct API name. I'm picking this API, V4 API. And in this API, this is a service group name. This is OData V4. Let's see if OData V2 is available. This data V2 API specification. Yeah, this is API configuration details. We can copy this entire thing here. Then put this one, and I can actually put some more extensions. I'll put /a purchase order to bring some purchase order numbers. Let's see how many POs are available in the system. Now let's save this as a version. Now we can deploy this one. Okay, so like if I want to see the data, if I want to see any step-by-step errors, I can enable some traces. Yeah. So log level I'm increasing from info to trace. And now clicking on this request, let's see how this request is coming in the monitoring. Go to overview, click here, you should be able to see the request. It's telling 403 forbidden. Okay, let's see what is the error. Oh, I think this came as a post request. Now in the adapter, we need to change that as a get request. So here you have the methods like get, choose get here. So then it becomes very easy. Then let's give a try now. Now I will click on send. The request is already triggered. Again, it failed. Let's see the response body. Save as a version. I think it should deploy. We have to give some time. It is not deployed. Let me deploy this one more time. It is started. Okay, let's change from inf. I think this service is not available in the system. It's telling 404 not found. Resource not found. A underscore purchase order. Oh, this resource is not found. Okay, let's see if at least this service is available there with the metadata. Yeah. At least I'm getting a metadata. With this metadata, we can actually go ahead and use, which is the default APIs and everything from here. Okay, so somehow this is tied up with sales order too. Okay. So we are able to get the metadata from there. You can actually access some more resources and get the information out. So nature of sales order, it's my bad. Like a underscore purchase order should bring some data. So now it should bring some data. So this way, like just I'm giving a flavor, like whenever you change some service, how you can identify different errors, and based on the error, actually you can even sort out the problem by your own with the available traces and logs. Okay, so like this log will always give you the right information to navigate along and to find what is the exact error, and you can actually go ahead and fix it. Yeah, it is telling this is No service found on the namespace. This one, like, yeah. So the service is not even active in the system. I think only sales order service is active. The system purchase order service is not active. So this is just an example how to create an adapter with HTTP and make a connection to your any of the OData API through as a HTTP connection and get the response back and check how you're seeing the response. And this is a way that you can triage your problems and get the information out of it, and you can modify when you're doing some development. Okay. So any queries in this one?
Okay, so this is an OData service, right? Which is in S4, and we are trying to consume in the iFlow.
SAP. Yes, correct.
Okay, so why we are using HTTP adapter? Can we also use the OData adapter to consume this?
We can definitely use OData adapter. But so when you create your trial account will not have your OData adapter, because let's take an example. If I put this one to a receiver, let me delete this one. So in your actual version, you have the OData adapter, but here in your trial account, I see an OData adapter. We can use V2 also. Yes. OData adapter, yes. So this is coming. Yeah. It's the same URL. It's going to be the same. And
Okay.
actually, to be, yeah, let me show you with the other service also, just how to connect your OData adapter through connection. Let me check whether that is established.
Cool.
Okay, if you are connecting this one and going here, yeah. Okay. Once you click on next step called processing, there is something called select resource. So now it will ask you to input the credentials. So let's I'm giving remote, then I can give the credential name, which credential I need to use. I can use this one. Yeah. So now you can choose which resource you want to consume. You can use this one too. Like I can use query operation, just simple get or read. Okay. So in this one, I can even generate my XSG for read. I can select all feeds. So here you have sub levels. You can go up to 3 or 4 levels or 5 levels. Select this one. Yeah, here you need to input some sales order number. Let's take an example. If I'm giving 101. Okay, I'm not sure whether this order is available, but let's give a try. But this is with the read operation. But when you select with query operation, it's just a free end. Directly you can do it. And this will bring all the orders that are available in the system.
Okay. So which is the best? Can we use SOAP or can we use OData to connect to S4? What is the difference?
HTTP or OData you're telling it. HTTP or OData.
Yeah, yes.
So HTTP.
Not HTTP, SOAP or OData.
I will actually tell in detail which is the best in our coming modules. But based on your requirement, it is better just to give a background. SCPI understand XML more than any other technology. Even though you get the OData in JSON format, you need to do the conversion with XML because SCPI loves XML than any other protocol. So I would actually prefer if SOAP is available for any API, there is a preferred one. But OData is another layer now SAP has built for its own gateway services, all your services out of it. But even that also brings your output in data like your EDMX format. So that brings all your output in a defined. Yeah. So underlying everything, it is a camel engine in your CPI. Camel engine understand more XML than your rest of any other format.
Okay.
So you will be able to easily develop if you have all your format with SOAP service.
Okay. Because there's
Any other
in
queries?
normally there would be a lot of proxies, okay, developed in S4.
Correct.
So in that case, it's better to go for a SOAP adapter.
The SOAP adapter, yes. If you have, so I believe these are all like your SAP native proxies, right? Like your standard proxy, correct? Right? Like you might have a standard proxy and you might expose those proxy through SOA manager.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct, right? Yeah. So in PO world, there are two ways to connect. So you can have your proxy or ABAP proxy that is defined on your S4 on your ECC or your S4 system. When you have PO, you will bring your proxy to your ESR and you expose that proxy through your ID as an ICO. Okay, but actually when it comes to SCPI, SCPI cannot understand all those things. SCPI can understand only the endpoint URL. Okay, so just once you give the final endpoint, so that means SCPI should know should actually it believes already the service is activated in some SOA layer. But in case of PO can act as your SOA layer.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's what actually like you need your proxy should be activated in S4 as a SOA through your SOA manager. Then you can consume that one and you can use this one.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah.
Any more queries, guys? Like let's go to some content then. So I will actually deep dive into some kind of mapping and actually like some XSLT because I'm not sure in PO world mostly people will be using the graphical mapping. XSLT might be very limited, but in SCPI XSLT is a powerful engine. And in PO you might have used complete UDF based, and you could have used Java mapping also there, and you could use actually APA proxies also there. So like in SCPI, like I can see like XSLT is really a powerful one here. Yeah. Coming back to your positioning of your integration toolkit. So as I explained earlier, this SCPI will serve as your iPaaS, and this iPaaS also has multiple services, your SCPI API management and everything, and that brings a number of seamless connection and integration with the system, and that brings a lot of end-to-end integration process. To be more clear, like let's take an example. I have an Ariba system, or I have actually a field glass system. I want to connect to any of my government agencies, right? Like in olden days, we used to have all the prepackaged solution available from PO, and we leverage that one. But PO has limited only to banking sector and some related to CRM sector. But SAP extended this capability to be supported for all the business functionality. And we are actually touching with even for India GST also we have a standard package. You just activate the package for India GST, you are good to go and up and running. You can even show that package too. You just type India GST here. You should see a package for India GST. So and this package is tightly coupled with your Indian government, and that brings seamless changes whenever India GST terms are changing. This will be completely changed, and this is a seamless integration that you will be using for e-invoicing. So yeah, and this supports two different templates, and you can use this template for your seamless integration. So with this, actually SAP has multiple government connectivity, multiple system connectivity, and touches those integration using CPI and your third-party integration with your open connectors and your API management that ties up to connect with multiple system, even mesh, ties up API management ties to connect with your CPI or your S4 system through Cloud Connector, and your data integrations through any of your CPI DS or SDN and everything. And even mesh is another one feature for enterprise messaging. So any more queries till this time? So just I want to show you what are the core capability that has been provisioned for cloud integration for seamless activity. Then how we are positioning this one with various components like cloud integration with seamless integration. API management is for end-to-end lifecycle management of an API. So ISAM is for your integration assessment, and your advisor is for your B2B scenarios or any EDA scenarios, and trading partner integration. So these are the very core capabilities that Integration Suite supports, and it has a lot of inbuilt SaaS solution and everything that gives very good matured way.